Absolutely. And even in music, the same thing. Freestyle has changes, and people just are stuck in 88. You know what I mean? And you tell them, hey man, there's new music being played. There's great music being done after that particular era that you go back to so much. You got to take it as it is, and especially with social media too. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody's an expert. And they have a criticism. They have their views, and they think that their view is the most important one, and they really don't accept things as they are, and that bothers me sometimes. But I think the song touches on it as well.
Well, it's the self. What's happening with people nowadays with social media is that it's back in the day they used to call it standing on a soapbox, and where that comes from is people used to come in the middle of town, grab a soapbox, stand on top of it, and start complaining about whatever the politics of the day were, And what people used to do is, most of the time when those people used to get on that soapbox, is just walk right by them. And there was always someone who would stop and argue, and sometimes get into a fist fight. I mean, I know that people could equate it to, what happens on 42nd Street sometimes when you see people ranting,
Yeah.
In the middle of the street and telling their stories, and all of a sudden someone else goes to oppose it. So I know that that's supposed to happen, but I just think that and you and I have had this conversation a lot. I just think that social media has made it so it's easier for people to it's easier for the people who don't know everything to have a voice and complain about something that they know nothing about or not know the true reasons behind certain things.
Yeah. I equate that to a lot of the posts that I see. Like I see a lot of free this person, free that person. I'm like, well, if they need to be freed, you know what I mean? You don't know the other side of the story. Why should we free your cousin? You know what I mean? If they did something wrong, or somebody comes out with a song and they've never done anything in music ever, but their opinion matters more than the people who produced it.
Right. I also think that that sometimes, and to be honest with you, when I was a kid, I used to look at people, and I didn't know all of their business. I didn't know, what their hair looked like in the morning, and I didn't know, what they had for breakfast or what they had for lunch. And part of becoming a music fan was that mystery of not knowing everything about your favorite artist. And nowadays with social media, sometimes you get to see the ugly side.
Yes, that's true. There's no mystique at all.
There's no mystique at all, and you shatter the mystique and you shatter the persona. And what you do is, it's good to humanize. It's good to be human. I like being the guy that gets up and I'm able to go to the supermarket and go shopping every single day with my kid or whatever the case may be. But it kills the mystique of what of what we got into this business for, and it's to be that larger than life image, that your songs bring, and that you portray in the media. But when people are online venting for no apparent reason about stuff that may be absolutely positively petty, it just leaves a bad taste in people's mouths.
Yeah, and that's true. That's true of people that have lost their opportunity to make something of themselves within the music as well. So sometimes that person, the time has passed by and they didn't make it to where they thought they would be, and they lost that opportunity. But it was because of their own doing. But here we are, a few years later, or maybe even 20 years later, and they're still clinging on to the opportunity that they didn't get, which they hadn't squandered. So they get to go on Facebook or social media and start getting on their sopa box, because we don't have a soap one, we have a sopa. It's a Sunday, you know what I mean? We got sopa boxes, and then I'm talking about how this opportunity was not
we
given
got the
to
saltine cracker box.
Yeah, that one, export soda. But so unfortunately, a lot of people follow those type of trends, and it's unfortunate because now we got music from TKA. You are and have always been the voice of TKA, and now you're putting on an album. So when they hear the voice, they're going to equate it to going back to Tommy Boy Records and checking out Maria and Louder Than Love. And, oh, wait, that's the same lead singer that sang this song. So they understand now. We know who the true voice of TKA is, and that is K7. So Love Goes On is coming out soon. Do you have a date?
Yes. It'll be up. If not by next weekend, it'll be up by the following Monday. So if not by next Friday, it should be up by Monday. One thing I was going to ask you is, when the album does come out, I would like to do if you and your listening audience will allow, if I could call you up and do a show where we preview the songs on the album to everybody.
Absolutely. You have a song with George Lamont, and we want to discuss that. I think that song in particular is so impactful, and it has such a great message. And if you really sit down and listen to the words and listen to what's going on in that story, people will be just blown away.
Thank you. Thank you. You're a good friend,
but just understand that friendship has nothing to do with the way that I feel about your music. So I want to make that clear, because a lot of people out there that that when I promote something from you, they're friends. Same thing with Willie Valentine and a lot of the artistic family or people that are close to me. He's promoting them because that's their friend.
Tell them the truth. Tell them that when I call you up and I play you a song and you don't like it. That's what you should tell them. You should tell them the truth about how many times I'll play you something and you be like, nah, that sounds like a Christmas record.
And that stuck, that resonated with you because you remember me telling you it sounds like a Christmas record. This is about a month ago. He showed me a song and I'm like, is that for Christmas?
That's a Christmas record. I was like, that's not a Christmas record. And then I ended up going back to the studio and going, yo, we got to start all over again.
No, I was like, is that the Jingle Bell remix? But the point is that you respect my view because of the where I come from, what I'm doing. Our radio show is 30 years old next year.
I value you. I talk about our friendship because I value you and I cherish it. But the thing I respect about you the most is that you are absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, not a yes man. The thing with this music industry, I'm not talking about the freestyle community, I'm talking about the music industry as a whole, is that it is filled with people who are yes people. People who feel like they need to say yes and agree to everything that, that certain people are doing when they may be doing something wrong. And someone that, for me, will turn around and be honest with me enough to say, hey, I like this, but I don't like that. That's the help that you honestly need in this business.
Let me ask you a question. Remember when you showed me Love Goes On, and that's the title track to your album? What was the first thing that I said to you?
You said it sounds like a freestyle church. You're taking them to freestyle church, is what you said. Yeah,
exactly. But I mean that in the most respectful way. This is the way that I feel. Because of the TKA history, I feel like you're taking us to school in that first particular song, and it's like you're giving a sermon, in a freestyle church, and it's not meant as this disrespect to anyone who's listening who supports religion, but. The fact that you're taking us to freestyle church because Love Goes On has this great story. And when we debut it here in the future episodes of Clubhouse Dance Music and our CPR's Clubhouse podcast, they will listen to you just giving a sermon, but in a freestyle song.
The funny thing about me and the process, I call it the process of writing a song and creating a song. I don't necessarily... I have a couple of different ways. Sometimes I get the beat prior and I start writing the song to the beat prior, or P Version's favorite method that we do all the time. We call it the Rain Man method, which is, I'll give him the freedom to begin a beat, as he sees fit, and then as he proceeds to make the beat, we begin to add the ingredients together. So he'll turn on the mic and I'll start singing whatever's on my mind at that very moment, whatever I'm feeling, good or bad, at that very moment is what I'll start to sing. And, you know, the first draft will come down, and then from there I'll rewrite it. So we use like a method of almost, I want to say ad-libbing. In that particular song, the mood of the beat, I just saw myself, you know, in a club, and I saw this song coming on for the first time, and I saw the feeling that you get when you see an artist perform a song for the first time. Sometimes you don't know it yet. You know, you don't automatically dance because you don't know the song, but you start to clap because you get into the vibe of what the beat is, you know, little by little. And that's how I saw Love Goes On. And, you know, it tells the story of today. You know, people are really unsure. There are the diehard freestyle fans that love freestyle. There are the purists. And they're the people that are still unsure whether it's cool to come back and love it the way they used to when they were kids. And I just felt like I'm reaching those people.
And I think when we have the listening party and people listen to the entire album, they're going to be very pleased on the final product. I don't want to keep you. I know that you're a very busy man. But, you know, coming soon to our show, we're going to have a listening party for TKA's brand new album, Love Goes On. I can't wait for you to talk about the song with you and George Lamond, because I remember the day that you called me and you said, I have the song in my head and I want you to listen to this and let me know what you think. And it was great. It was a great idea. And when you shared it with me, I'm like, wow, but I had no idea you were going to involve George Lamond in that.
George's family. So, you know, and when George, you know, real quick story, when George and I were in the group together for that year, and we started recording songs together, there was a magic that we had in the studio. I mean, and I liked having him there, and I liked the fact that, you know, we could feed off each other, and because when we were kids, you know, it was all this competitive nature that didn't allow us to rock together. It wasn't, you know, we were friends, but it wasn't like we were going to be able to go into the studio together, you know, back then. So when I wrote the song, I was like, I just wish, I wish that if things would have worked out, you know, that we would have kept going with that version of TKA, with me and George in it. You know, I wonder what the music would have been, and I said, this is the perfect song because it just had the feel of everything else. I mean, the album that we recorded together, some of the songs were really good. None of the songs were really freestyle, believe it or not. None of them lend themselves to the freestyle energy at all. But, you know, but when we recorded, there was a magic behind it. And when he comes in this song, that energy, the dynamic of both our voices together, I just liked it.
Well, we want to congratulate you on the forthcoming album. Love Goes On is TKA, featuring George Lamond on the album. Coro's on there. Brand new freestyle like True Love, Take Me As I Am, Freestyle Church, Love Goes On. I've listened. I'm fortunate to have a copy of the album already, so I've been playing it.
But I have to send you the tweaked version, you know, with the better mixes, and I can't wait for all you guys, which I will send you tonight, by the way. And I can't wait for all you guys to listen to it. Do yourselves a favor. When you listen to this album, get in your car or get into your favorite spot of your house, turn it on, shut off your phone, don't go texting, you know, just put on your headphones or drive to where you want to drive or clean if you want to clean your house, but do nothing else but just listen to it from beginning to end. And I hope that it brings you back, you know, the sound of it brings you back to a place that you would like to be. And I hope that, you know, that we modernize something for you that you loved when you were a kid, and that, you know, now has grown up with you, in a sense.
Once again, thank you for joining us tonight. This is K7, main guy, lead vocalist, frontman for TKA, and we got the album coming out, Love Goes On. But before it comes out and is released, we're going to have a listening party right here on Clubhouse Dance Music and the CPR's Clubhouse podcast. K7, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Can I tell everybody to follow me at K7TKA on Instagram? please follow me, and I'll follow some of you guys back. All right? Thank you so much, and God bless you all.